So, what if the country you choose to work in could mean an extra $10,000 in your pocket each year? And not from a higher salary, but from a lower cost of living. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the real paycheck for a nurse in Germany for 2026, and trust me, the answer is going to surprise you. Let's get right into it.
Okay, first things first, the number everybody wants to know. For 2026, the average gross annual salary for a registered nurse over in Germany is projected to be right around 52,000 US dollars. Now, that might sound high or low depending on where you're coming from, but it is a really powerful starting point in one of Europe's best healthcare systems.
But here's the thing about averages, right? They never really tell the whole story. Is 52 grand what you would actually make? And, even more important, how much of that would you get to keep? That's where things get really interesting. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to break down the full salary range, pinpoint exactly what gets you paid more, and then we'll weigh that against living costs. After that, we'll put Germany on the world stage for a little comparison, and finally, show you the exact steps to get there. So let's kick it off with the full picture.
Okay, so let's pull apart that $52,000 average, because in reality, your salary could swing by over $25,000 depending on your situation. And where you land on this spectrum, well, that's everything.
At the starting line, you are looking at around $45,000. Now, you can think of this as the salary for a new graduate, or maybe if you're working in a quieter, less expensive part of the country. It's the floor, but it's a pretty solid one. And here it is again, that $52,000 figure. This is really the sweet spot. It's the salary for the majority of experienced professional nurses all across Germany. This number is what keeps the whole healthcare system running. Now for the high achievers. The ceiling goes all the way up to over $70,000 a year. We're talking about specialists with years of experience, nurses in those exclusive private clinics, or maybe folks working right in the heart of major cities like Berlin or Munich. This is absolutely the top tier. So what's the actual difference between that $45,000 starting salary and the $70,000 expert pay? Well, it really comes down to four key factors that can dramatically boost your paycheck.
Okay, so there are four main drivers here. First, the type of institution. A big public university hospital might pay a bit differently than a smaller private nursing home. Second is location, which is a huge one we're going to look at next. And of course, your years of experience and any specialization you have. Think intensive care or anesthesiology. Those will significantly boost your earning potential.
All right, let's talk location, because this is a massive factor. Just look at the chart. Munich is leading the pack at over $57,000, and Stuttgart and Hamburg aren't that far behind either. This just goes to show you how much your choice of city can really impact your salary. But, and this is the catch, this is what most people miss, a bigger salary does not automatically mean a bigger bank account. That huge Munich paycheck comes with Munich's famously high rent and living costs. So the real question is, are you actually better off? And that brings us to the most important number of all. What is actually left in your pocket after all the bills are paid? It's time to talk about your real take-home pay. And here's the breakdown. On average, a nurse in Germany spends about 38% of their income on essential living costs. That leaves a massive 62% left over. This ratio right here is the absolute key to understanding your actual financial freedom. So what does that 62% actually feel like? Well, it translates to over $32,000 a year in disposable income. That is your money for savings, for traveling around Europe, for whatever you want, after all your necessities are covered. So these calculations are based on Germany's cost of living index, which sits at 65.5. Just think of 100 as the global average. A lower score like Germany's means your money simply goes further. Your purchasing power is a whole lot stronger compared to many other developed nations. So Germany looks pretty good on its own. But how does it hold up in a head-to-head competition with other nursing hotspots, like, say, the US and Canada? Let's put it to the test.
Before we even look at the salary numbers, we have to talk about job security. Because in Germany, the demand for nurses is it's off the charts. We're talking rock-solid, long-term career stability. And that is a benefit that is truly priceless.
All right, let's just look at the raw numbers. On paper, the United States looks like the clear winner with a massive $93,000 average salary, and Canada also beats Germany at around $60,000. So yeah, looking at salary alone, Germany is in third place. But as we now know, salary is never the full story.
Just remember, salary is only one piece of a much bigger puzzle. You have to factor in the cost of living, how easy it is to actually get a visa, healthcare. It gets complicated really fast.
This is actually where AI-powered platforms like WannaVisa.ai, where we got this data, become so powerful, because they can analyze all of these factors for you to show you what the true best option is.
So, if Germany is still on your radar, what's the plan? How do you actually land one of these high-paying jobs? Let's break down the exact steps you need to take.
Okay, there are 4 non-negotiable requirements. Number 1, experience. Having at least 1 to 3 years under your belt makes a huge difference. Number 2, training. You need a formal nursing degree or an equivalent vocational training. Number 3, certification. You have to get your qualifications officially recognized in Germany. And finally, number 4, language. You've got to prove you can communicate in German, usually at what they call the B2 level.
And one last critical point about this whole process. Unlike some other countries, for Germany's main visa pathways, you need a job offer first. You can't just apply for the visa and then start looking for a job. The job hunt always comes first. So, here's the ultimate takeaway. Don't just chase the highest salary number. The smartest move is always about the total package. You have to balance the money, visa process, the lifestyle, and find a country that's the right personal fit for you. And that's where exploring all your options becomes so important.
We've laid out all the data on salary, living costs, and the requirements. So now you have the core information to start exploring your own path forward. The only question left is the personal one. What does the right move truly look like for you?